Family Guy is a great show. It's got everything you could ever want in a cartoon. Fantastic characters, a lovely and diverse world, and on top of that, it's blessed with some of the greatest comedy in entertainment history. You would be baffled to find out that this sentiment isn't shared by everyone. But wanna know who it is shared by? Me. I remember being an 8-year-old boy and practically drooling waiting for Family Guy Back to the Multiverse to release to the public, and I remember on my birthday being ecstatic at seeing the game. I even had a Stewie Griffin shirt to even show my loyalty to Family Guy, and I also remember being invested in the life of Brian, or by that episode, lack thereof. I believe that Family Guy gets too much hate for all that it is. Well, compared to its counterparts. Now, this could be for managerial reasons, however, I've seen an abundance of videos on YouTube critiquing aspects of the show, whether that be the episodes, the characters, and even the obscene humour. And to be fair to the critics, I see why, and I understand why there would be people frustrated at parts of the show. Behind every criticism, sometimes there will actually be a reason and explanation for it, even if there is very little. Let's take Stewie. There has been a lot of people that have complained about the evolution of Stewie's character, going from a baby who wanted world domination and, most of all, to kill his own mum, to being an openly homosexual / bisexual baby. Doing research and consulting the lovely people of Reddit, I have found the official turning point in Stewie's character, and it can all be tied back to a season 6 episode. Or should I say, episodes. These episodes being called Stewie Kills Lewis and Lewis Kills Stewie, and in these two appropriately named episodes, we explore the climax of Stewie's character arc, and it actually pivots how Stewie as a character is written in the future. And not that it matters in any way, but it's kind of neat to see that the writers would actually do this. This episode begins as Lois and Peter go on a cruise, and this being all relatively normal until Brian calls Stewie out for being all bark and no bite. This tips Stewie off on one, however, and he actually does it. He goes out and actually kills Lois. And the rest of the episode explores the aftermath of this, and then the second episode comes, and Lois makes the ultimate decision to come back and kill Stewie. Yeah. Honestly, I can't tell if I should be embarrassed to admit this or not, and let's be real, I probably should be, but I genuinely enjoyed watching these two episodes. I mean, I can't really pinpoint why. If I had to, I'd guess that the entire premise is pretty out there and it's pretty original, and the entire idea of exploring an aftermath, a bit like What If by Marvel, is pretty interesting and I enjoyed it a lot. But I believe the general consensus is that Stewie began to accept himself as a homosexual, and he got less frustrated with life as, I don't know the appropriate word in here, but his own mum killing him in a simulation, that could bring a revelation to him. I'm not sure if there's that much thought put into it, but if there was, like, a thought experiment, it would be pretty interesting in my opinion. There's been a lot of characters in Family Guy which have changed over time, like Brian going from one of the most genuine guys in the show, being a level-headed, smart individual, to being some pretentious asshole, and Peter Griffin going from a sincere, yet goofy husband, to being, someone who definitely qualifies to be mentally challenged. And I mean that in the least offensive way possible. And yeah, I have to admit, there has been other characters in Family Guy which have changed over the years with little to no explanation. I do want to give a point to Family Guy here, and I want to say that you can't keep all the characters the exact same for 20 plus years, and if you do, you run the risk of having the show become monotonous. And I mean, yeah, the dynamics can change, like Stewie and Brian being more of a duo rather than Brian and Peter. But in my opinion, I believe that Stewie and Brian work infinitely better as a duo, and apparently the writers also agree, because there are a lot of Brian and Stewie episodes going back through the past decade, and I mean, even the best episodes of the entire show feature Stewie and Brian. There's the Road 2 series, which is several episodes spanning over the entire series. As Family Guy has been running for over 20 years, it's been touted by many in the animation space that Family Guy is a shell of its former self, and it's not the original anymore, and nor is it funny, and that hurt a lot. Recently I forced a few friends to watch Family Guy on a call, and not even the old episodes. We watched one of the newer episodes from the recent seasons, and then after that we watched a classic favourite, the modern episode being Wolf of Wall Street, which was as recent as Season 16, Episode 15, and the plot being Brian invests in the stock market, and the B plot being Peter runs a bar. which gets him in the hijinks. After that, we then watched Road to the Multiverse, which was Season 8, Episode 1. And the plot of this being, Stewie and Brian travel all across the universe and get into some hijinks, and some hijinks indeed. I honestly don't know if this is controversial or not, or is it a hot take, but speaking personally about these episodes, I personally enjoyed Wolf of Wall Street more than I did Road to the Multiverse, and going off of our reactions to Wolf of Wall Street and Road to the Multiverse, I think we all enjoyed that one way more, and I briefly tried to think of a reason why this is, because Road to the Multiverse is one of the highest rated episodes in the entire show, whereas Wolf of Wall Street is just another Season 16 episode. So what gives? I believe that Generation Z humour is so much more abstract than it would be if it wasn't for, and I hate that I'm saying this, meme culture. I believe this is ultimately a good thing for Family Guy writers because it means random equals funny. The amount of stupid and random things that happen in this episode and the sheer insanity of the episode is enough to at least get a smile from someone. Comparing this to the previous seasons where it was still random to an extent, just it was slightly toned down back then, but every once in a while, one of those gags in the episode would make you chuckle. I'll use the example of a gag from this episode that was just funny to me and my friends. It's established in the episode that Joe Swanson's playlist is mostly Life is a Highway covers, and throughout the episode, different covers would be played, and one of the timings leaks into the main plot, and it plays at such an inappropriate time, and that, in my opinion, was a gag that worked. Because you don't expect it, it subverses your expectations. And like, that's not to say that there's no negatives to the episode, because there are quite a few. However, we all relatively had a good time watching it, and it was a bit enjoyable. I have a lot of respect for Family Guy as an IP, as it's got a massive empire, but wanna know who I have even more respect for? The man that made it, Seth MacFarlane. Seth is an incredibly talented individual, creating 4 shows, directed 2 TED movies, and he's appeared in several movies, and he's got a fantastic singing voice, and he knows music better than most people. This aspect leaking over into Family Guy, and considering that Seth voices several of the characters in Family Guy, and he's got a fantastic voice on his own, Family Guy has incredible music. Songs like the freaking FCC, I Needed You, the songs in The Road to the North Pole even, and many others go a long way to making Family Guy above average in my opinion. Not to mention, there's even a musical album for Family Guy which also has great songs, and there was even a song made for the 2007 Emmys, which I thought was genuinely funny.
Now The Sopranos is a show I'd recommend, because you never know just how it's gonna.
I would never listen to the Family Guy soundtrack in my own time, but the songs in Family Guy are pleasant, they sound nice, and it ultimately makes Family Guy better than it would be otherwise. And yeah, you can say Family Guy sucks, you can say that Family Guy's fallen off in recent years, which, in my opinion, it hasn't, and you can even say the show should be cancelled, since Seth hasn't written for Family Guy since 2010. I can't really say Family Guy shouldn't be cancelled, because it had a great run. Seth MacFarlane has found other creative endeavours, so it's clear that he's gotten tired of the show, and honestly, I'm just surprised that Family Guy episodes were still slightly enjoyable to me. I didn't expect to laugh at all, but I did, and that's what counts. I've seen so many people talk bad on the current show, and I mean, yeah, it may be different from the original show, and yes, it may seem bad to certain viewers, but Modern Family Guy met my expectations, which weren't that high to begin with. In fact, it surpassed my expectations. If Family Guy did end, it would leave some legacy. And yes, some legacy. Whenever I say legacy, I mean legacy. Family Guy already has a massive presence on pop culture. Have you seen Twitter? Accounts that post Family Guy clips get thousands of likes. Have you seen YouTube? Once you watch one Family Guy Funny Moments video, it's all YouTube will recommend you for at least 3 weeks. And Twitter and Instagram have rampant memes of Family Guy featuring Joe Swanson and company. And yes, it's incredible. All of it is great. There are years worth of content from Family Guy that could keep anyone not entertained, busy for years. Needless to say, if Family Guy did end, I wouldn't be sad personally, as I think the show went on for longer than it should have, but my only hope for Family Guy is that it doesn't have the same problem as The Simpsons. But let's be real, it already has that problem. Thank you for watching this video. Family Guy is a weird passion of mine for like the past 2 weeks, and I'm kind of glad I got to rant about it. Like and comment if you want to, and watch another video if you want to as well. Thank you very much. Bye.